Hi, y'all. All right. I got everything ready to go live and decided I better grab a Diet Coke before I started talking. So give me 1 minute and I'll make this stop. There we go. Okay. Good morning. How are you? It's February 9th, 2022. Um, it is the middle of the night. I'm talking about it is as deep into the middle of the night as humanly possible. Okay. So why in the hell am I going live at this time? What is it? 2 o'clock, 3 a.m., 3 a.m. Um, because you know how when you have something, you have a medical procedure done, and then you come home and you sleep because you're in pain and they give you medicine and so I went to sleep probably, I guess I spent almost the whole day sleeping. So when I woke up a little while ago, I said, oh my goodness, I'm wide awake. What am I going to do with myself? so, um, so I said, well, I think what I'll do is I'll check up on the CODI BIGSBY story, get caught up, see if anything happened with that, see what was going on with the whole Don Wells deal. Um, and then I was awake at that point. And I said, "Why not go live? I can. I'm retired." So here I am. Okay, we may or may not welcome in the sunrise. It just depends on how long this goes, right? So good morning, Bernard. Is very good to see you. Hi, Hobby Hoppy. Kapal, welcome. Hannah Bell, love your name. Every time I see it, Hannah Bell, love your name. It's like I also like the name Annabelle. Okay, so I know that you guys probably already know these things because I'm a day behind, right? But well, almost a day behind. But anyway, so Corey Bigsby had a bond hearing Tuesday morning, and thankfully he was denied bond. You hear that, Chaffee County? Chaffee County, you may want to listen. Okay. So he was denied bond. Um, that was, I think that was a good choice, but I was intrigued when I read that. So I decided to see if if there was more information about what could have, like what went into what went into their decision, um, to deny bond. So let me go to, I believe it was this clip here. Okay, so I'm going to play a little news clip, um, that will show. I think this was a hit historically. I think this was a big part of why the judge made the decision that he did to not even offer up like $1 million bond. Um, I think this may be part of why.
Julie.
That's right. According to those court documents, there has been at least one domestic violence incident within the Bigsby family. Now, while digging into those documents today, our investigative team did learn that CODI BIGSBY's dad, Corey Bigsby, had an assault complaint against him in 2018.
Make no mistake about it. The information is here. We believe the information is here.
Police said today they believe CODI BIGSBY is close to his Hampton home, where he lived with his dad, Corey Bigsby.
We will work as if he's out there waiting for us to find him.
10 on Your Side's investigative team uncovered court records detailing a past assault allegation against Cody's dad, Corey. Cody's mom filed the complaint in 2018. She told police that during a fight, Corey Bigsby threatened to kill her. She claimed when she went to defend herself, Bigsby bit and choked her. The charges were set aside. An official source says the reason is because the victim, Cody's mom, refused to cooperate and appear in court multiple times. On Tuesday, police were doing door-to-door searches and used dogs to search the woods near Cody's last known whereabouts. They are hoping help from the public can help them find the 4-year-old boy.
We feel strongly that somebody listening can be helpful. We feel very strongly about that.
And we did reach out by phone today to several of Cody's relatives, including his mother. Those calls were not immediately returned. Live in Hampton, I'm Julie Millay, 10 on your side.
So many.
Okay, so that is, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of information there. So 2018, you're only talking about 4 or 5 years ago, right? And it was the mother of the child that made the allegations of assault. I found that to be really interesting because there's no information about her, right? Remember when my first live that I did talking about Cody going missing? Um, it is, so strange to me that you can't talk to her, you can't find her. And I thought, well, maybe she's, incarcerated, right? So now after hearing this, now I'm wondering, is she in hiding? Right? One of my big positions is domestic assault or domestic abuse, domestic violence. We're not in our country. We're not doing well at all. I mean, there's a huge room for improvement in managing violence that within a home. Okay. I'm not going to go into all the potential reasons. It's a huge problem that, very wise people are trying to work through, but it's multi-generational. There's a developmental sequence to it. It's a general overall lack of uh, awareness for good mental health. People don't know how to manage their emotions anymore. The bipolar diagnoses are off the chart. People are using way too much alcohol and intoxicants. Uh, there's a there's a there's a lot of reasons for the breakdown in the family that ends up resulting in such a profound level of frustration and sadness and anger that it becomes a war zone, right? So that as the incidents related to infidelity go up, so do the corresponding statistics for domestic violence. So if we are losing ground in being able to manage our personal relationships, where every generation, our kids are losing more and more ground in understanding people and understanding how to treat one another with respect and kindness. So while we have millions in grant money out there being distributed by the federal government to put toward the research and development of treatment programs to target domestic violence, both for victims and abusers. At the same time that you have that, um, you have unchecked alcohol and drug use. So it's a really difficult situation that we're in, with the development, with the ongoing and worsening rate of DV in the homes. So, with this new information that in 2018, the mother of Cody Bigsby originally filed charges on the father, Corey Bigsby, and this is the same dad that left his kids alone on 2 different occasions that he admitted to. So, you can at least double that. There's been far more than that. If he's willing to admit for at 2, I'm going to guarantee you he's done more than that. Um, and so The other part of this report that I immediately latched onto was that the father, the allegations that she made against him, that he did threaten to kill her, he bit her. And then here's the big one. According to the FBI, he choked her. The FBI has put out research white papers. They have found that there is a direct and positive correlation between people that choke another, that if that's kind of their, if that's like their, if they have a, if they get into a fight and rather than like punch and hit and bite, if they choke, they grab people around their neck, those people are at a dramatically increased chance of being arrested for murder in the coming years. That using a multiple regression type of analysis, which would be predictive in nature, right? Not just correlation, but it would be predictive. That in a multiple regression type of analysis, if you add the factor choking to, among other things, alcohol abuse and some other stuff. Of course, obviously, you add meth into the mix. Again, meth has that direct correlation to possible murder sometime in the future. But choking is a huge one in a domestic assault scenario. So the cops respond. Let's say they get a telephone call. They hear people, some neighbor has heard bad fighting, blah, blah, blah. The cops respond. And both people are just kind of going, no, it's okay. We got in a bad argument, but we're all right. Everything's okay now. But then the police notices that the woman has fingerprints on her neck, or it's red around her neck, or there's scratches around her neck. Right there, they take the guy in. If they see evidence of choking, right there, you got a killer on your hands. Maybe he's never done it yet, but he will, more than likely, according to the research. So this woman said it, and I don't even know. I don't think I have ever read anything about biting in terms of it being a correlate. I just don't think I've ever seen that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody like McDonough might know, but I just don't think I've ever, I guess I could spend some time tomorrow trying to look it up and see if I can find anything in the research literature. But, it does seem kind of crazy, right? To have somebody bite you, an adult bite you, doesn't that sound like someone completely out of control? It seems like somebody who's just completely, has lost their veil of humanity, and they're just kind of responding like on a rabid kind of animalistic level, right? So it's kind of scary to think about. But that he bit her, that Corey Bigsby bit her and choked her. In the long run, it didn't get prosecuted. She refused to cooperate. She refused to come to court dates, and they just dropped the whole thing, I guess. But now I'm listening to this, and now I'm thinking, is she in hiding? Is she hiding for her personal safety? Is she afraid of him? Right? So again, that's question format. I don't know that, but I think given the set of circumstances of what we know now, I think that's reasonable. The other thing that gave me pause, that indicates that this guy may be incredibly violent, or he may be a problem, is, let's see, the name of this channel that I've been watching that I love, CKED Mel. Okay. He is covering the Corey Bigsby story in detail. And he's like a professional disc jockey or something, because when I say that, I mean he's like really polished, and he's got great research. He's got good information and whatnot. So I'm following him closely. But they uncovered that it does seem like, now in all fairness, Corey Bigsby, he receives $1,700 a month from the U.S. Army. That he's on a pension. We're paying his monthly rent, me and you. Well, not me though. I'm not, because what? I'm retired. Okay. But those of you that continue to work, he makes $1,700 a month from the U.S. military on a pension. So he was not. It doesn't look like he was dishonorably discharged, right? Otherwise, he wouldn't have gotten a pension. But there is documentation that he did go AWOL. And so I don't know. And AWOL is, failure to report for duty. I don't know if he served jail time, and then he was put back in good standing. I don't know if they thought, well, look, we've had this guy who's had 10 years of really great service, never any trouble, and now suddenly he's tilted and he's off. He's not the same guy. He's different. He's not who has served our country, with honor for 10 years. Now he's erratic, and he's aggressive, and he's making no sense. So clearly he's having medical issues. Something's wrong with him. And maybe because he'd had such a long time with the military and he had had really good behavior throughout that time, maybe when he went AWOL, maybe they looked at that as a medical. This is wild speculation. I'm brainstorming, right? Because he is on a pension. He does get his $1,700 a month. So it's kind of hard to understand. So somehow or another, the military did work it out with him, right? But otherwise, he never would have had that. He never would have had that. I was looking to see if I had anything here. So it says there's something called missing movement. This is in regard to like AWOL or desertion. Something called missing movement, neglectfully or intentionally missing one's ship, aircraft, or unit may result in a missing movement charge. Faces a possible bad conduct discharge, forfeiture of pay, and confinement for 1 year. Intentionally missing movement can result in a dishonorable discharge and a 2-year confinement. So if it's unintentional, the element of missing movement, the accused was required to move with a ship, aircraft, or unit, knew of the prospective movement, missed the movement, and missed the movement through intent or either neglect. So if you miss it through neglect, you forgot to set your alarm, you overslept, you missed your flight. a military member may not be found guilty if the missing movement is due to situations beyond their control. For instance, a military pilot who had every intention of boarding the aircraft but was struck by a drunk driver would not be charged with missing movement. Okay. So see, even though he was AWOL, and they do have the documents to show that, even though he was AWOL, there are conditions that he would not have. It wouldn't have been an automatic dishonorable discharge. There's you can have maximum. If you're AWOL less than 3 days, that can result in a maximum penalty of confinement for 1 month and forfeiture of 2/3 of your pay for 1 month. If you're AWOL more than 30 days, service members face dishonorable discharge. So he must have, whatever he did, it was less than 30 days, it looks like. Or it could be this condition that I talked about, missing movement. So it's not like, a lot of people think, oh, he went AWOL, that means he was dishonorably discharged. No, you can be AWOL and there still would be conditions that you would not forfeit your pension, right? You could still get your discharge and get your money and whatnot. So that answers that question. But to go AWOL, that's a pretty big deal. If you talk to people that were in the military, you never wanted to be caught with your pants down. Oops, I missed formation, or I missed my flight, or I left my post and didn't return properly, or I left it 2 hours early. Those, you just don't do that in the military. The hammer comes down, people react. For one thing, the lives of the entire unit depend on everybody being predictable. You got to be predictable. You got to think as a single unit, and so playing games like leaving 2 hours early, it can get people killed. So, all right. So he was AWOL. He was found to be AWOL, but he did receive his pension, right? So that is a certainty. Also, he did have domestic violence charges against him in 2018. By the FBI's own research, I think we could get away with saying that the assault that was alleged by the wife, the mother of CODI, the assault was quite violent, biting and choking. And the choking aspect, that factor all by itself, is a huge red flag for future murder, right? So things are just not looking good. They really aren't. Now, the other side of the story, and CODI is obviously clearly the most important part of the story, but because let me get the right picture up here. So CODI is obviously the most important part of the story. But the other side of that story is the family members of Corey, right? Now, the other day, I showed you the interview with the sister, and I played for you the chief of police, his press conference, and that you could hear the lawyer Ambrose, who has been hired by Corey's family to try and protect Corey. And they even had a contingent of Black Lives Matter members who are working closely. It sounds like, I do want to be clear that I don't have any special knowledge. I'm going by what I've heard on the news and whatnot. But it would appear that this group, somebody that was in court said that it was a substantial. It looked like it was about 10 or 12 people. That this group of Black Lives Matter members, and they identify, they're working on, that's the organization trying to help Corey, right? And so they showed up with attorney Ambrose and the sister of Corey, and they were disruptive during the chief's press conference about a missing baby, Cody. They showed zero interest in Cody and what was going on with Cody. And where's Cody? Chief, did you guys find blood in the home? Chief, do you have any indication that Cody's gone? Chief, has Corey said that Cody was hurt? Chief, tell us something about Cody. You got none of that from the sister and the attorney Ambrose, and then their support system with the Black Lives Matter group. None of that. What you got was that kind of standard, and I'm all for this. Don't get me wrong. Please don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. Me or mine, we find ourselves, being questioned by the police or, God forbid, arrested. I want the U.S. Constitution right by my side. I want to be protected. I'm not going to say a word without an attorney there. Absolutely. I'm 100% all in. 100%. They're right that every person has the right to be protected and have legal counsel, and all that. I'm with that. What left a bad taste in my mouth, and I think I could say that Chief Talbot had a bad taste in his mouth too, is the shocking lack of awareness that there is a 4-year-old baby missing, gone. This group seemed to not be capable of looking past, you're mistreating Corey. You're violating Corey's, constitutional protections. You're mistreating Corey. We told you he has an attorney. You would not tell him his attorney was here. And they said, how can we tell him that his attorney is here when he has not asked for an attorney? Yeah. But we hired the attorney. We got the attorney on his behalf. And the cops are just going, you're not hearing us. He must, by law, ask for an attorney. Look, here's a different side of it. Let's say my next door neighbor gets arrested. And then I go and I hire an attorney and I say, my next door neighbor got arrested. I need you to go and represent my next door neighbor. They're not going to let that person in to talk to him because I don't have anything to do with him or any crimes he may or may not have committed. So it's crazy to think about hiring an attorney and then saying, okay, go and tend to that. It's very strange behavior. So Corey was being held. He was there for 72 hours. You can do that by his own words. He told them, I left 2-year-old twins and a 4-year-old alone for hours, and they were fine. And back in December, I left 2-year-old twins, my 4-year-old, and my 5-year-old. I left them alone for hours when I went and bought a car. and they were okay. So, and now here's the part of wild speculation. So, what I believe happened, or let me put it this way, what I believe may have happened, I think the day that Cody was reported missing, I think dad was not home that night. That's what I think. I think dad probably said, "Oh yeah, I had a date. I was with my sugar, and we were, I was at her place, and we were getting freaky. And then when I got home, Cody was gone." I think that's the story he told. Why do I think that's the story he told? Because why would he willingly tell the police that he had left babies 2 years old? 2 years old? And a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old. Who in their right mind would think on any level, would you, here, let me challenge you, would you even leave those babies, that exact constellation of children, two twins, 2 years old, a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old, would you even leave them at the house to go up to the store and fill your gas tank up? I wouldn't. I wouldn't even want to. I wouldn't even want to leave them in the house while I went in the backyard and, planted flowers for an hour. It's crazy to think about. So I was thinking, what could account for a scenario that he would have told the cops that he had left those kids alone? Like, why would that have even been a factor? They were looking for a missing baby. Why is he talking about going buying a car in December? How could that scenario have come around? I think because he was saying, the cop, he said, I was with my girl, didn't get home till that morning. When I got home, Cody was gone, and the other kids didn't know anything. And then I think the cop said, "Are you crazy? You can't leave your children alone like that. What's wrong with you?" And that's when he said, "No, no, no, I did it before and they were fine. I did it back in December. They were fine. I did it in January. Everything was okay. I didn't have any reason to believe something was going to go wrong. I'd done it before. They were fast asleep. I went over and got my freak on, and then I came home and he was gone, and I don't know what happened." That is a scenario that I can kind of imagine as being, making sense. You agree? So when he admitted that, then right there, that gave the cops charges. Absolute neglect, no uncertain circumstances. Nobody is going to question those charges at all. And so that, and listen to this. When he was arrested for the neglect charges, what did they have to do again? Read him his rights. So they read them their rights now in today's world, because the slick defense attorneys, get people off for technicalities. So before the questioning begins, they read them their rights and they have to sign a piece of paper before they ever start questioning them. But if they're going to arrest them, they're going to have to, they read their rights again as a factor of the arrest event. So that, I think that is the reason why Chief Talbot was so unaffected by all of the theatrics of the sister and their focus on, poor old Corey. Poor Corey. I think he was completely unaffected by their theater, because it was like, what's wrong with you guys? He was in the military for 10 years in a position of leadership. Corey had to make decisions that affected other soldiers. He was in Afghanistan 2 years. He was in Iran, not Iran, Afghanistan and Iraq. He can think. He's an intelligent man. He's not having any trouble understanding what you have a right to an attorney means. He knows what that means. So take your little game and your little passionate theater, take it on down the road, because you ain't got a leg to stand on here, right? He didn't care. So yeah, so that's what I think may have happened. I think he was trying to, in his alibi, he was trying to focus on removing culpability from himself for the disappearance of the baby. And he thought, yeah, this sounds great. Oh, I left him before and nothing bad ever happened, right? Without having the realization, the forethought, hey, neglect, yeah, it's illegal, especially for little babies. So they got him, by his own words. And of course, a defense attorney will be busy trying to have his statement thrown out. But if they got it recorded, if they have a signed piece of paper, they're not going to throw it out. All right, let's see. I can't see because it's 3 a.m. and I should be sleeping. I would say that dude has some definite PTSD. First rule of PTSD, we cannot be logical. No, 100%, Lady Rebel. I'm with you. It is a the PTSD. The brain has been rewired by trauma, so that from trigger to emotional expression, movement, you got the fast lane. You got the hot phone to the White House, right? There's the higher cognition is not included any longer. It's sort of like if you touch a hot pan, you're going to immediately jerk your hand back. Like there's nothing in your brain that can force you to keep your hand on something that you're burning, right? It's just an instant stimulus reaction. And when you go through trauma, then there are new neural connections that are formed between the trigger and the fight or flight response, the emotional intensity, not intense, intent, the emotional intent. So you get a trigger, and rather than thinking your way through and being aware of the environment, instantly your brain puts you in like an altered type of consciousness, and you're back in fight or flight mode, right? So there's where your logic falters in PTSD, is that you're reacting 100% from an emotional type of position. It is as powerful as something like your heart beating. There's nothing you can do to make your heart stop beating. You can't sit there and say, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to make my heart, stop beating or slow down or increase. The heart, it does what it does based on the information that it's receiving from the amygdala, and from the brainstem too. I'm not saying, but I mean, if your heart speeds up, it's because the amygdala has sent out information that says we're in trouble. Get ready to move or get ready to fight. So you said, well, you go to therapy for PTSD, and you just have to learn how to, slow down, make better decisions. No, it's not a fact. It's sort of like saying, well, I'm going to go to therapy and I'm going to learn how to touch a hot pan and not jerk my hand back. That's not going to happen. Your brain is saving you, and such is the way of PTSD. If there's a trigger, then the brain is now in fight or flight and ready to save you. And so there's no, and so you working with a condition of PTSD is a whole different, it's a whole different ball game. It takes a lot of commitment, and it takes working with professionals who know what they're doing. They've read the research, they understand the process of healing, how the condition developed in the first place, and then how do you get back to a point of thinking your way through. And basically it just accounts for, you have to grow new neural connections. You have to have new survival experiences. You have to involve the whole body. It's a whole life type of approach, and you're retraining your brain for the most part. Maybe there's a chance I can forgive myself. Absolutely, 12 step. Absolutely. And you have to remember, these are not these emotional responses are not a sign of weakness or character failure. They're the brain that is a healthy brain that is doing what it's supposed to do, which is save you. And some people get saved because they run away, and some people fight. And that's dependent upon, the person and their previous experiences. So it's not a sign of character weakness, or it's about a neural connection that has actually been formed, that is like a straight shot between trigger and experience. Been diagnosed with childhood PTSD, 2 violent marriages. I'm so sorry, Arctic. Yeah, you're welcome, 12 step. And you just keep things really fact based. Don't get emotional and make value judgments. I must be a bad person. No, 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 no. Your brain is doing what it's designed to do, which is to keep you safe, but it gets confused. The wiring, because of the trauma, the wiring got connected in a different way. And so triggers in adulthood put you right back into that trauma state. And you can relearn it. A huge part of that is to start daily exercise, getting out and walking, forming a connection, making those connections between your brain and your large muscle groups, getting those connections healthy again. And how do you get the connections between your large muscle group and your brain? How do you get them reestablished and healthy? By using them. So going out for a walk, and then when you're doing really well, able to walk a couple of miles with no trouble, then doing a little bit of weightlifting, and then, doing things like hiking, whitewater rafting, snow skiing, tennis. And it seems, without understanding the physiology of why we want people to do those behaviors, it seems a little silly. You're going to tell me I'm going to deal with my trauma by playing, Dance Revolution on my computer? And my answer is yes. That's exactly what I'm telling you. Why? Not because you need to have fun, but because your brain needs to have the experience of remembering those muscle groups and what they do in a non-survival setting. So, all right. Let's see. Pickleball. You got lots of support here. 12-step woman and Arctic cat. Did we have a little troll in here? Then there's dissociation, fugue state, bipolar. I don't know if that's supposed to be bipolar or borderline personality disorder. All right. Parenting is a privilege. It's not a right. I agree 100%. Listen, 12 step, you can appreciate this. One of my friends who is a physician, okay, he's a surgeon. Well, so he and his wife, they had a dog, and because they're old, their dog is old, and it did, pass away of old age. And so they said, well, we need to. The wife is a stay at home. She doesn't work. She's what? Retired. And so they said, well, we need to get us a dog. Let's get a rescue dog. There's no reason to go and buy, a dog for someone's profit, because that's how puppy mills, came into existence. So let's find us a grown dog, an older dog, so a dog that's already house trained, and we'll do a rescue dog. And that's noble, and it's wonderful, and it's awesome. And so they went, looked a couple of places, and ended up finding this little dog that they wanted to get. And so they filled out all the paperwork. Now, this is a surgeon, okay? He literally saves the lives of people that have very low chance of survival, okay? I'm not going to go into exactly what it is, but trust me. So they turn in all their paperwork, and they're planning for getting the dog home, and how they're going to introduce the dog to the new dog. They have a dog already, but he's an old dog. And so how they're going to ease them together so they can get to know each other without any drama. And so they go up on the day they're supposed to get the dog, and they tell them that they have been denied to adopt this dog. And he's like, why were we denied to take this older dog off your hands? And they said, well, you don't have a fence around your swimming pool. And he said, I know. We do swimming lessons with our dogs, so they know if they fall in the water, they know where the steps are to get out of the water. Yeah, but you're just telling us that. We don't have any way to ensure that you'll actually do the swimming lessons. And he said, yeah, but my wife is home all day, every day, and she spends time with her dogs. That's what she loves to do. I'm confused why well, and you also said that you were going to leave your dogs in the backyard while you were gone to work. He said, yeah, they're dogs. And they said, yeah, but it's dangerous to leave dogs alone in a backyard. He said, it's fenced. It's fenced. Yes, but you have to be able to put the dog in the house when you're gone. So he's sitting here and he's telling me the story, and he's just in complete shock, right? They have a place right outside of Houston. They got 100 acres where they live. This is country, right? This is where dogs are dogs, okay? Dogs are dogs. I don't care how frou-frou. I don't care how cute you make them. They can go to the hairdresser. They can do it. They're still dogs. And this particular dog, it was a pound dog. They were saving a dog. They were giving the dog what would be dog heaven, right? Well, to make long story short, they said, no, we're not going to let you adopt because we don't think that you're going to be a good dog parent. And I thought to myself, I wonder why Child Protective Services, the foster care system, the legal system, why don't our judges and our child advocates, why don't they have standards this high for our abused and neglected children? We're doing this for a dog, and I don't have any trouble. But look, we got to protect dogs. Any animal, y'all know, my house is a zoo. I love animals. But what was outrageous to me was the state of affairs for how far we'll go in the protection of animals, and we won't even do a tenth of that for the protection of a little kid. I can't tell you how many times I have argued, literally argued, with a CPS caseworker saying, this can't happen. This is not a scenario for reunification. It has already cost this kid too much to be in that home. If you ever hope this kid to be able to recover and go on and have a healthy adulthood and be a contributing member of society, don't put them back in that place. And they just don't. They just won't hear you. It's terrible. It's truly terrible. Speaking of animals, Jules, where's Bear Bear? Are you talking about Barry Morphew or Barry behind bars? Barry behind bars is fast asleep because it is dark in my house. The only light in my house is coming from my microphone. My fur babies are everything to me. Today, I spent $77 on one of my cats. Most of that was for his lion shave under sedation because 777. See, I told you I don't have my glasses on. No, I'm with you, Snow. Yeah, so Peaches, she has to have her lion cut. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Peaches is a full-blown Persian, and her hair is longer than it will just drag the ground if you let it grow, and grows so fast, right? So I have to take her every 6 months, and because she's got the heart of a lion, she, my vet, she put stitches in my vet. She literally opened up the skin on her hand, and I was horrified. But anyway, she's so aggressive and she's so violent when she gets scared. And so they put her to sleep, or sedation, and then they do her teeth, they do her nails, and they give her the cutest little lion cut, but always make sure that she has boots and a little ball tail. Do you do the boots and the ball tail? It's so cute. We need a picture, Snow Lion. We need a picture of your fur baby in her lion cut. Oh, he was scared because all the dogs were barking. We do need to do better, Desired. Absolutely. And the people that are sounding the alarm the loudest are the people that work in the system. It's the peripheral, the tertiary, and they're all screaming, CPS. I don't care what you say, CPS is not training their workers. They are not training them. Oh yes, Getty. It's gotten crazy with the animals, but they won't do a tenth of it for live children. I agree, Arctic Cat. Absolutely. Yeah. Dental work for $2,000. Poor baby. He's very young, but the purebreds have such bad teeth. Um, is yours a Persian? How do I share a photo of Hokulani? Okay, so here's how we can do it. Okay, so I'm going to put up, okay, copy. Okay, I'm going to put a link. Do you have a picture on your computer or your phone? I don't know what you're on right now. Because what we can do is that I could put the link in the chat for you to come up on panel. Okay. I'll keep you off of the panel until you make sure that your camera is off, so people can't see you. And then you can open up, you can put your picture up on your computer, and then I'll add it and share it in the chat on the screen. Hakulani is gorgeous. What color is Hakulani? Yellowtail. Hi, Kate. Welcome. Hippie Chick is me. Just found out MFW's. Oh my God. Hippie Chick. What happened to him? So Hippie Chick said that so I don't know how many of you guys knew Katie MFW, but she had this boyfriend, and I think weren't they living together for about a year? That it may not have been that long. I thought it was about a year, maybe 6 months or more. And that his remember his name was, well, they originally said, didn't she tell us his name was Steven? But then they found out he was actually named Dylan, right? But for a long time we were told he was Steven. Big tall guy, drank way too much. And Hippie Chick is saying that he's dead. Zelda, my friend. All I know is that it was during surgery. Wow. Oh my God. That is so hard. But you know, wasn't he much older, Hippie Chick? Wasn't he like 60 something? I mean, hey, look, I'm 76 years old, damn it. No, I'm not, but there are people in a certain channel that for some reason they say that I'm 76. It's the weirdest thing, but you know. Anyway, I'll just say this. When I'm 76, I hope I look like I look now. I'll be really proud of myself. Um, but but I think he was like 30 or 40 years older than her. Oh, he was only 56. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is crazy. Makes zero sense, but something has to change. It's become epidemic. So many missing and exploited kids, babies being hurt by their own flesh and blood. Something is very wrong. Absolutely, something is very wrong. Desired. I'm not 70. That's so funny. I'm looking good. I'm looking good to be 70 years old. I'm telling you. That's hilarious. Okay. I have a flame point ragdoll whose name is Kachalani, which is Heavenly Flame. I love that, Snow Lion. Oh, I'd love to see a photograph of her. Zelda has a ragdoll. Gorgeous animal, absolutely gorgeous. My kids always said I was so much nicer to my cats than to them. That's because the cats minded me. Yeah, the cats didn't argue back, did they? I am Hoppy Hoppy. Yes. I have a ragdoll mix and I love him just as much. Scarlet. Scarlet. Yeah, the ragdoll. Oh my gosh, the ragdoll cats are just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. No doubt about it. Well, I'm sorry to hear about Steven / Dylan. That's That is very shocking. But I will say this. I think he's probably one of those people that his liver was probably had probably been overused, right? So the cats and dogs listen, dedicated, loyal, dependable, unconditional love. They care, they recognize our moods, habits, and illnesses. I breed Turkish and go. Oh Lord, Snow Lion. Which is why I have so many cats. Plus, I inherited my mother's 3 cats when she passed away. Yeah, thank you, hippie chick. I'm literally, I'm in shock. That is something I did not expect to hear today. That I had wondered. I do worry about Katie, and I hope that she's doing well. Um, I don't know. I don't really want to get into that, but she is really she has so much. She has a lot of potential, truly. Um, but she just needs some structure. She needs a stronger foundation. Um, but if she could ever do that, if she could ever get to a place where she felt safe and she felt stable, her personality, her energy, she's very charismatic, she's beautiful. um she could ever get to a place of peace and like I said, feeling safe, I think she would be enormously successful in this whole talk game, social media thing. But it does. I'm going to tell y'all. I was listening to some other people talking about this. Granny's watching. I was listening to a live that she did the other day, and the subscribers don't understand how unstable and crazy some of these subscribers are. And so when you're a creator and your videos begin to get shared a little bit, you begin to have a kind of people start knowing about you and talking about you. You make really good friends with really great people. Lots of it's fun because there's so many interesting people to talk to, but you find out very quickly there's also some really not nice people on, in my case, YouTube. But I think Katie is now is she on Instagram? I think she's got a show she does on Instagram. But there people manipulate creators. They want to see the train wreck. They want to get certain creators fired up because they get all herky jerky and weird when they're crying and angry, and then they sit back and they laugh. They intentionally mislead creators and get them all upset and freaked out. And then when they have a public freak out, then they all get to sit back and laugh and think it's great fun. There are actually troll groups that's what they do. They find some creators that may be a little different. And then they set about to try to trigger them and try to get them, messed up in the head. And then they laugh about it and they think it's great. And they do, prizes and, oh, you won this week, kind of stupid stuff. But here's the deal. Those people are out there irregardless, right? It's just that with the YouTube platform and to some Instagram, it's the perfect environment for them to get together as a group. That person, that sadistic, messed up guy who likes to laugh at somebody who's crying and upset, That person goes to work, they have a job, they're around people, but they don't have a group of other like-minded weirdo freaks, right? But when you're online on social media, it's a platform that helps you find each other. You find your people, right? And so then you put 3 or 4 of those sadistic bastards together in a group, and they find you. They can make your life a living hell, and then they like it. They think it's funny. I mean, what they did to Mary Marlowe was unforgivable, in my opinion. She's not the only one. I think right now Miss Mensa is back to being targeted. Um, I get lots of. I know now. Let me say this. I know now, looking back 3, 4 years ago, it was the perfect scenario between me and MRB. It was the perfect scenario for the troll groups to take advantage of, because she was dog whistling. She was dropping these negative comments about me, maybe not saying my name, but she calls me like I don't remember how she says it, something about the alleged psychologist. That's what she says. Because I may or may not be a psychologist. She doesn't know. That's, but little dog whistle things like that. And then my frustration with it, going, why the hell are you being mean to me? Like, I've never done anything to you. I don't know you. Why are you being mean to me? I was legitimately so confused. I didn't understand why she was doing what she was doing, because I didn't understand YouTube. I do now. And so I went back and looked at some of those. I see you, Snow Lion, but I don't want to put you up until you're ready to go up on the platform. Can you hear me? You should be able to. I see you, but I don't hear you yet. Y'all hold on. She's trying to get set up so that she can put a picture of her beautiful baby. Okay. So once I see where you've got the cat up on your screen, then I'll share your screen. Let me tell you how to do you know how to use StreamYard? But anyway, I was getting emails from people saying that MRB said this or did that, and it wasn't true. And then people were coming to me saying, "Oh, I saw what you came and left a comment under MRB's video. Why did you do that?" And I would be like, "What are you talking about? I haven't left any comments. I would never leave a comment over there." But then you'd go over there, and sure enough, there would be my name with my avatar, would leave some kind of crazy message. So what they were doing is they were making a clone of my account and then going into her channel or her supporters and saying controversial things, which then fire all of them up, right? They were doing the same with me. I had a long like message from somebody called Lady Beekeeper that was scary in terms of the level of violence that was in the letter. Now I've come to learn that wasn't her at all, not a bit. But that was a name that was well known by a lot of people, and so they cloned the account. When I went back and compared the real Lady Beekeeper account to what this account looked like, it wasn't even the same person. So you gotta be careful when you're on here. Snow Lion, I'm still waiting. Do you want me to put you up, or how? I do not hear you if you're talking. I don't know how to use StreamYard. I'm device challenged. Okay, so you are on StreamYard right now. Yes, y'all just give me a minute to help Snow Lion. Okay, are you on StreamYard? Okay. So look underneath your, uh-oh, you went away. You're going to have to join again. Once you join again, paste. Okay, here's the link. Okay, once you join again, okay, I see you now. Now look below your picture and you'll see the little box that says share. When you're going to have to pull up the photograph of your fur baby. It like if it's in your picture or your Word or however you would pull it up just to look at it on your own computer. And when you hit share, it's going to open up another box that says share screen. Then you're going to click share screen and go to where it says window. And then once you're there, you should be able to share the entire screen. And that will be the screen that's going to show your cat. Wherever you have your picture of your cat up. Or just on computer. Let me look. I don't see where it says. Yes, I do. Okay, thank you. Your computer. We currently support Google Slide, PowerPoint, PDF. Video and animations are currently not supported. No, that won't work. Okay, never mind. All right, so you should be able to go, okay, you're going to pull up a photograph. I'm trying to do this with you. I'm going to go to my files and I'm going to pick out a photograph. What should I share? Who should I share a picture of? Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow. Okay, I have a picture here. Now, how would I share that? Okay, so I would go to share and go to share screen. And then when I go to window, and then go to window and then click on the picture. Do y'all see my picture? No, because I got to take the little fella. Hold on, I got to take him off. Oh, there I am in my 70 years of glory. With the absolute goofiest look ever on my face. I don't know what I was reacting to, but I was obviously laughing. That was during Christmas. I think last year. No, 2 years ago. No, last year. Somebody must have said something or told me to smile or I don't know, but I got a weird look on my face. I'll start the next live showing pictures of your sweet baby. Okay? All right. I'm going to go to sleep for a little while and I'll be back later on today. I've got some discussion about summer wells and Barrymore Few. Not together, two different cases. All right. All right. I'm going to try to fall asleep before the sun comes up. Right? Okay. If you're on the other side of the pond, then I hope that you are having a beautiful, bright day. And I will talk to you what will be your time tonight. Okay. You guys in the US of A, Canada, Central America, South America, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.